Hey there, I'm here to walk you through my remix of All of Me, originally by Count Basie and his orchestra. So I took the MIDI file and it came in with tracks for drums, bass, piano, trumpets, trombones, full brass, and 2 saxophone tracks. And I took that and pared it down for a mallet quintet with a drummer. I chose a mallet quintet because MIDI tracks are really lifelike when it comes to percussion instruments, not so much in the brass instruments. So I always found that if you have a marimba MIDI instrument playing, it's pretty natural. You're not going to get all the intricacies, but you're getting more than the sound of a flute, for example. So let's play the first little part, and I'll commentate through it. So this first part in the original recording is just solo piano, and the nature of the vibraphone being that you can only hit it with 4 mallets at a time, I had to split up that piano track into 2 vibraphones. So for this intro, vibes 1 got the melody, or the right hand, and vibe 2 down here got the left hand chording section. You're going to see the marimba part that's about to come in. I substituted the bass for marimba, and I substituted the guitar track for marimba 2. I did this because if you have a bass line and the guitar track going, it gives you a pretty good harmonic feel to it. But also, if you play in a marimba band, there's always a bass marimba part, and then the 2 middle voices are always playing some sort of chording, and it sounds very cutesy. It sounds very 1920s old recording style. You'll hear that in this next section. I also added in the drumming feature from GarageBand, gave it a nice coffee shop feel. Thank you, Finn. So you're seeing down here the glockenspiel coming in for effect. I took the ensemble parts, the brass and saxophone parts, and pared them down into a mix between vibes 2 and the glockenspiel. The glockenspiel gives that bright sound that you get from the high trumpets, but it's still mellow enough to where it's not as in your face as big band jazz. So you could have noticed as we're going through that each drumming region got a little bit more intense. It picked up the groove a little bit, and that's by design. So if you check out this first track, you'll see I have the 4 voices present down here. And as we move along, I etch over into different variations of rhythms and add instruments. You got the shakere in there, the foot stomps come in there, we have the sleigh bells. Going forward, we're even going to have the woodblock added in, and then that eventually will go back down to a nice head out. So we're going to hear this section where it was the ensemble part, the shout chorus. I arranged that for the vibraphone 2 as well as the glockenspiel, with the vibe 1 interjecting as Basie did. So I'm going to skip ahead here just so we don't take too much time out. On the head out, I decided to take out the drummer and make it only the mallet instruments. It gives it a nice segue downwards. It ends on pretty much a low note, but it's a very nice ending. In the ending, you're going to hear the vibraphone 1 part play some pretty cool licks. In the original recording, Count Basie employed some pretty idiomatic techniques on the piano where he rolled between his thumb and pinky finger, playing notes alternating. That sounds particularly nice on the vibraphone, so I was very pleased with how that came out. Let's take a listen to the end. So in the middle here, you heard that there was some residual effects and pitch bending from the original guitar tracks and all that. Couldn't find a way to get that out, but I'm very pleased with how this sounded in general. Thanks for listening.